Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
9년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Laura McLucky and Minsu Shin. BFM 부산영어방송.
Hello, and TGIF 여러분, happy Friday. This is Inside Out Busan, and it's August the 25th. Happy Friday, y'all. Now, if you work from Monday to Friday, you might find yourself thinking all about the weekend as your brain and body are getting ready to rest, right? That's why workers actually make more mistakes on Fridays, especially in the afternoons, because that's when 이제 퇴근 언제 하지? 정신이 거기 실려 있었어요. So according to a recent study, employees were less active in the afternoons. They actually made more typos in the afternoons, especially on Fridays. 그래서 오늘 on my lonesome today without Laura, so no room for errors. All right, believe me. Get it together, 민수. 할 수 있어. 오늘 정신 똑바로 차리겠어요.
흔들리는 불빛 속에 희미해진 나를 찾아 빨라지는 리듬 속에 작아지는 너를 찾아 Oh baby 손을 잡아 떨려오는 맘을 안아 저물인 처음부터 운명처럼 정해졌어 눈을 보고 웃는 your eyes 내가 그 안에 춤추던 날 찾은 거야 헤매인 너를
액자 속에 멈춰있던 그림인 걸 나는 알아 거울 뒤에 가려있는 내 마음은 너를 알아
Oh baby 손을 잡아 사라지는 너를 안아 어젯밤은 꿈속에서 나를 보는 너를 봤어 다친 맘을 보는 your eyes 네가 그 안에 꿈꾸는 날 찾은 거야 길을 잃는 날
긴 하루 같은 몸을 누 펴면 너를 마주 보면 쭉 되는 눈은 영 고뇌장이라고 하지 속이 깊은 너의 눈은 ocean view Can't take my eyes off of you 지금 내 맘속에 향해 중 Couldn't wait to get home to you 당연하지 이런 전망을 눈앞에 둔 난데 너의 눈은 beautiful 잔잔하게 반짝일 때도 때로 속에 안개가 낄 때도 눈물이 차올라서 파도 칠 때도 자리 지켜 넌 내 등 뒤지기 I'll be with you till I'm old and wrinkly 너의 눈에 비친 내가 거울 속에 나보다 나다워 in your tender eyes All eyes on me
찾은 거야 헤매인 아침 맘에 보는 your eyes 네가 그 안에 꿈꾸는 날 찾은 거야 길을 잇는 I love you my baby Never trust me I love you I just wanna be your love Baby trust me I will love you If you wanna love me I love you my baby Baby trust me I just wanna love you Baby trust you I will love you If you wanna love
And that's Brown Eyed Soul with Tableau, Tender Eyes to start off our Friday show. Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the program. First hour of Inside of Busan on August 25th, TGIF, y'all. My name is Min-Soo Shin. And unfortunately, Laura is out once again. She is still under the weather. Quick recovery, Laura. Laura, 잘 듣고는 계시죠? 있죠? 문자 보내주세요. Laura, help me out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. Rest, and we hope to see a fully recovered Laura next week. All right, listeners, so how has your Friday gone, right? For most people, Friday's over. Hopefully, right? Or it's soon over. Or, of course, there's people out there that it's just the beginning for them, right? 오늘도 이제 뭐 출근 늦게 시작하는 분들도 있죠. And to you, a big whiting. But a little interesting fact about Friday, according to a recent study, workers aren't as productive on Fridays. They actually make more mistakes in Friday afternoons. Do you think this is you? I don't know. Let's see. On Friday, here in the studio, I think because our show is a little later during the day, I just get all my jitters out, So I feel sorry for whoever has to hang out with me during the daytime on Friday because, I get all my mistakes out and then I'm here in the studio and good to go, right? But for you, if you, especially office workers, you may feel that you're getting less work done on Fridays. You might even feel this way near the end of each workday. I know I sure do. Now, one of the interesting results is that the highest account transfer mistakes, get this, occur from 2 to 4 p.m. on Fridays. So if you are in the business, in the work of, you're working at a bank or, you're an accountant for your company and you're moving numbers around, money around, chances are, right, mistakes will be made between the hours of 2 to 4 p.m. Now, hopefully I'm not jinxing anybody, right? Knock on wood, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that doesn't happen. Also, I guess a lot of these mistakes, incorrect numbers were punched in, especially on Fridays, especially in the afternoons. 근데 금요일요, because I understand you're looking forward to Friday night and the weekend. Fridays are meant to just kind of chill and enjoy, right? But what's most important, right? Getting your work done. 일을 똑바로 마무리해야지 쉴 수 있잖아요, right? So yeah, let's kind of keep that in mind. Let's try to cut down on the mistakes and hopefully, I don't know, we don't make any here on Inside Out Busan. Knock on wood, right? 그래서 여러분, I want to ask you, 자, 오늘만, if you made any mistakes, I don't know, today or maybe in this past week, share with us. 이번 주 내가 저지른 실수가 있습니까? 제가 아니고, 네. You, I'm talking about you, listeners. 네, 솔직히 말해봅시다. 네, 저는 in terms of mistakes, I don't know. I might have put the wrong song on. I might have turned on the wrong song at the wrong time. But then you probably might not have noticed because I'm gifted with these fingers and I make all the corrections all the while talking to you and talking to Laura. 아니요, 저도 실수하긴 해요. I'm human, right? So let me know what kind of mistakes you usually make at work. I'll try to keep it as anonymous as possible. 왜냐면 your boss, your managers 듣고 있으면 안 되잖아요. 그래서 I will do my best to try to keep it anonymous. But yeah, I'm curious, what common mistakes do you make at your work? Maybe even today, share with us a mistake you made and we'll laugh it off. 같이 웃고 넘기시다. 왜냐면 그 실수했지 너무 스트레스 받는 게 더 안 좋잖아요, right? So let me know pound 9050 샵 9050 and we'll cost you 101 or you could chat with me on the Kakao Talk. Or you could log on to our YouTube. What up to JB님? JB님 오늘 혼자입니까? 네, 혼자입니다. 힘들겠다라고 하는데요. 원래보다는 조금 힘들죠. But no, I'm having fun still. But it would be better with Laura in the studio. 가보자고님, let's take over IOB. 가보자고님, let's. 저 포함돼 있죠? Taking over IOB. Let's do it together. All right? All right. Lots of show to get to. Annie in the studio for today's News Bites. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Hi.
Technically, I was here the whole time. So
you were.
혼자 아니었어요.
That's true, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't take you into account. Apologies. How was your Friday?
Well, as the regular listeners should know, I'm prone to migraines. So I had a bit of a migraine, a bit of a yawny mess. Keep yawning.
You should stick around on Tuesdays when we have Dr. Ryu in the house. Oh, but he's second hour. But you could hang out until like 7 p.m., right?
Yeah, sure.
I know, but that is a little concerning. Annie, we don't want to share any BFM secrets, right? But when do you find yourself making mistakes the most? In the week, or maybe is it true? Do you think people make the most mistakes at work on Fridays?
For me, I don't think so. I think mine's Tuesday.
Oh, why Tuesdays?
Just I'm ready to go on Monday.
Uh-huh.
I 쏟아부어 all my energy on Monday, and then Tuesday I'm okay,
you shut down already on Tuesday.
Yeah. So I think it's Tuesdays, and then Fridays, I don't know. I just need to make it through the day.
So starting from Wednesday is just a blur, and then now you're 금요일이네?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I see.
My main mistakes are usually pronunciation errors, names.
어렵죠. 네, 충분히 이해합니다. Oh, well, thank you for sharing. Now everybody's going to be all ears. What is she going to pronounce wrong? Nah, Annie's a professional, folks. It's very rare that happens.
I practice.
All right. Yeah, she does. All right. Well, News Bites, Friday edition of it. Let's get to it. What do you got?
Right. So a bit of unfortunate news first. So a fire broke out at a waste oil recycling center in Hwasong City that's up in Gyeonggi province, which unfortunately resulted in the death of a 55-year-old employee. The initial fire started at 11:12 a.m. when a waste oil storage tank exploded out of nowhere. The victim was found near this tank later in the afternoon. And actually, in earlier reports, it was said that all 11 employees were safe. However, later they found out that one person was missing who was actually working on that specific storage tank. The surrounding damage was also quite extensive, with 6 other companies' buildings burnt from this fire, whether it was completely or partially. The smoke was also quite intense, as the recycling center building was made from the sandwich panels.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this on their social media feeds. But what is the current status of the fire?
Right, so at 11:35 a.m., a level 2 emergency response was initiated. So that means around 180 fire personnel were dispatched to the area, and roughly 80 different firefighting equipment was used, including 3 helicopters. A chemical fire truck was also dispatched, as it was a building that handled large amounts of oil. Then at 2:39 p.m., the emergency response was lifted. However, I believe they are still currently kind of fighting the little remaining fire. I think it's almost all out, or is. And hundreds of meters away, thick black smoke could be seen, which has led to parts of the Seohean Expressway being blocked off because there was a lack of visibility for the drivers on the roads.
Very dangerous.
As for now, the smoke presents the biggest danger because it's very dark, and the fire authorities will begin investigations into the cause as soon as it is safe to do so.
Yeah, we hope for just swift actions from all parties involved, firefighters and all emergency authorities when it comes to getting a handle on it. I know they're doing their best, and hopefully they are able to put out the fire as quickly as possible, so that they could start, now damage control, right? Thank you so much for that. What's up next?
Right. I have a little Fukushima water release update. So Japan announced today that the tritium, or 삼중수소, I believe, levels from the first release of the wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear power plant showed levels under the standard, which is good. So according to the analysis of seawater samples collected from 10 different locations within the radius of 3 kilometers based on the nuclear power plant, all tritium concentration levels were below 10 becquerels per liter, which is within the normal range.
Okay. What's the criteria for an emergency halt to the release then?
Right, so if tritium levels exceed 700 becquerels per liter at a point within 3 kilometers of the nuclear power plant, and 30 becquerels per liter at a point further than that, the discharge will be stopped. So 700 is quite a big difference from 10.
Yeah.
TEPCO, or Tokyo Electric Power Company, plans to carry out a daily test for a period of a month, basically to ensure that everything is going according to plan. And also, side note, the South Korean government refuted a BBC report that said that our country, South Korea, backed the release. They basically clarified that they neither support nor oppose it.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, important to
politically, it is very important.
It is, right? Well, that's the current update on that. And I feel like, we're going to be getting just a lot of this regularly down the road, right? Especially when there's any just big changes in terms of levels, right? And whatnot, and what they find. Thank you so much. What's next?
Right. I thought our listeners might enjoy this one. Very short, very quick, but the government announced today that it is considering designating October 2nd, that's the Monday after Chuseok, as a temporary holiday.
Oh, please.
I don't know if it affects us that much, Minsu. If it is designated, the 4-day Chuseok holiday from September 28th to October 1st, plus the National Foundation Day, which is on October 3rd, will create a total of 6 days off. So a presidential office official said that they have received a proposal from the ruling People Power Party, and they're just kind of currently in the refuse stage. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Grab whatever 4-leaf clover rabbit's foot you got, right? Let's...
Maybe a spoon in the freezer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've
That's
never heard
for
of that.
Snow days, I think. But
Snow days?
maybe it'll help.
I'd rather go for a holiday. Let's get to our last bit of news. Let's go international this time.
Right. So, as we know, Donald Trump surrendered Thursday local time at the Fulton County Jail that's in Georgia, United States, on more than a dozen charges as part of his efforts to reverse Georgia's 2020 election results, which basically showed that he was defeated. This is, again, the 4th time this year that Donald Trump has faced criminal charges for a variety of offenses. And Trump spent a little more than 20 minutes at the jail, where he was processed and then released on bond as per the agreement. So jail records showed him, I was kind of surprised at this, he is 6'3" tall, which is 190 centimeters tall. He weighs 215 pounds. I'm sorry, I don't know that in kilograms. He has blue eyes and blonde or strawberry hair.
You know, just by the numbers that you provided, I'd be like, well, did he play, basketball or
Right,
sports?
that is an athlete right there.
Yeah.
Maybe not football, though. American
Yeah.
football. His booking number, for anyone that was interested, is P011-35809.
Jot that down.
Yes, and a mugshot was actually released shortly, which is making the rounds on social media.
Yeah, I heard the first, past or current president to have a mugshot taken, right? Now, how has Trump responded to his surrender?
Of course, he's not happy, but Trump called being at the jail a, quote, terrible and very sad experience in an interview later Thursday local time. And he also added, in my whole life, I didn't know anything about indictments, and now I've been indicted like 4 times. So according to sources, Trump covered the cost of his $200,000 US dollar bond by putting 10% towards it. And then he worked with a local Atlanta bonding company to pay the rest.
I see. Terrible and very sad experience in that 20 minutes he was in
A
there.
little over 20.
Right. Well, there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much, Annie. That's going to do it for this week's News Bites. You have yourself a very peaceful and restful weekend.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow.
Just you specifically.
Oh, yes. Right. There's a special event going on.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
Very
I
exciting.
will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, oh, yay. All right, Annie. Take care, okay?
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Here we go with The Cure, Friday I'm in Love.
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you, it's Friday, I'm in love. Monday, you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh, Thursday doesn't even start, it's Friday, I'm in love. Saturday, wait. Sunday always comes too late. But Friday never hesitate. I don't care if Monday's black. Tuesday, Wednesday, hard to tell. Thursday, never looking back. It's Friday, I'm in love. Monday you can hold your head. Tuesday, Wednesday stay in bed. On Thursday watch the walls instead. It's Friday, I'm in love. Saturday, wait. Sunday always comes too late. But Friday never hesitate. Dressed up to the eyes, it's a wonderful surprise to see your shoes and your spirits rise. Throw out your crown and just light up the sound. See guys are sheep spinning round and round. Always take a big bite, it's such a gorgeous sight to see you eat in the middle of the night. You can never get enough of this stuff. It's Friday, I'm in love. I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love. Monday, you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Thursday doesn't even start. It's Friday, I'm in love.
The Cure, Friday, I'm in love. A good day to be in love, as it is Friday. Hello, everybody. First hour of Inside of Busan. My name is Min-Soo Shin. Laura is still out. Laura, quick recovery. All right, we miss you, buddy. All right, the time is 6:31. Time to give you an update on the weather and the traffic. In terms of the weather, averaging 29 degrees here in Busan. 덥습니다. Tomorrow expecting morning low of 24 and high of 32. 내일도 덥네요. Over the weekend, lots of clouds nationwide, and it will get up to 32 degrees maximum. 32도가 on the thermostat 32도. 근데 느낌상으로 한 35도, 어쨌든 38도 이렇게까지 저는 그렇게 느끼는 것 같아요, right? Very hot sometimes. So due to the recent rainfall, humidity will be high as well, making the heat index feel like it's above 33. So yeah, it could be like 38 for some people. Who knows, right? 주말에는 전국에 구름이 많겠고 낮 기온이 최고 32도까지 올라가겠습니다. 그간 내린 비로 습도가 높아서 체감 온도가 33도 이상 웃도는 곳이 많겠다고 합니다. When it comes to our traffic congestion on Daechongro from Daecheong Junction going towards Busan Post Office Junction, there's also congestion on Hakjangro from Hakjang Junction going towards Jure Junction. Slow-moving traffic on Jungangdaero from Gangmugyeok Bridge going towards Samyeon Junction. Everybody, drive safe. 부탁드리겠습니다. All right, folks. Friday is probably the day where people make the most mistakes in their jobs. According to recent statistics, this makes sense and surprises me at the same time, right? This is a stat that I really wouldn't think of. Like if you were to ask me what's the day people make most mistakes, my first answer would be like Wednesday. 왜냐면 수요일이 직장인들 특히 잘 아시잖아요. Right? 제일 힘들고 제일 긴 하루가 수요일인데 근데 금요일은 어떻게 보면 너무 불금 and the weekend 너무 신나서 그 신난 상태에 너무 흥분해서 이 흥분 상태에 일하면 실수 더 한다. 그것도 믿을 수 있을 것 같아요. We have a couple listeners chiming in on mistakes they make. 우리 토끼님 on our YouTube saying 금요일에 저도 실수했어요. 마트 가서 세일에 정신 팔려 내 거 아닌 남의 카트를 끌고 가. 어떡해. 카트 주인이 째려봤어요. 토끼님이 일단 somebody noticed at least, so that's good. Imagine 그 카트를 들고 계산대까지 끌고 갔으면 완전 황당했을 것 같아요. Right? 그리고 나는 몇 개밖에 안 샀는데 왜 20만 원이 나왔지? 라고 토끼님 그때 if you realized your mistake, that would have been even more embarrassing. 다행히 그 카트 주인이 째려봐서 이제 토끼님도 realize 했네요. 다행입니다. JB님 saying 매일 운전 중에 메시지 보내는 실수하고 있습니다. JB님 그런 실수는 하면 안 됩니다. 네, we're so grateful for your messages. 근데 운전 중에는 하면 안 됩니다. Right? Even at red lights, I don't recommend. 왜냐면 빨간불이다 문자 보내야지라고 하는데 그러면 거기에 집중하다가 불이 바뀌면 그렇죠. 그래서 위험할 수 있으니까 I don't recommend that either. Okay? So folks, keep those messages coming in. I want to hear from you. What kind of mistakes you make in your work, right? 그 카트 스토리 너무 웃기다. 왜냐면 저도 그런 실수 많이 한 건 아닌데 몇 번 하긴 했어요, right? 왜냐면 저도 마트 가면서 가격에 정신 팔렸지, 이제 저희 딸도 막 이제 차 따라다닌다고 정신 팔렸지, 충분히 그럴 수 있는 것 같아요, right? But especially on Fridays. All right, time for today's 5분 상식. 네, 5분 상식 타임입니다. Getting you in the know of some of the most trending, useful, and need-to-know words and expressions and ideas. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간이죠. 네, 오늘 로라가 없잖아요. 그래서 저희 partner in crime is 바로
Hello guys. 오늘 조금 일찍 나왔죠?
스티브 많이 일찍 왔습니다.
맞아요.
스티브 오늘 4시부터 있었던 거 아니에요?
Yeah, that's right.
네, 스티브 오늘은요. 저랑 같이 젊게 사는 게 경쟁력이자 트렌드 요즘에 네버랜드 신드롬이 무엇인지 우리 청취자분들에게 알려드리도록 하겠습니다.
Hello, I'm Steve, and I'm a bachelor. You are such a beautiful woman for today's blind date. My heart is fluttering.
Hello, I'm Mina. I'm 28 years old. Oh, you're so handsome. 너무 멋져요. But calling yourself a bachelor? 거짓말 하지 마.
Thank you so much for seeing me that way. But I really am a bachelor.
Oh, your voice is so manly and it's so attractive. What's your ideal type? 이상형이 뭐예요?
I thought I didn't have an ideal type, but after seeing you today, I think I found one.
Oh, you're witty with your words.
What about you, Mina? What's your ideal type?
I like somebody who lives younger than their age. I like people with Neverland Syndrome. You know, it's really trendy these days. Neverland Syndrome 아시죠?
It's hot. 저기요, 커피가 너무 뜨거운데. 보내주세요.
I'm sorry. 맞다. 갑자기 something came up. 뭐지? I left my dog at home alone. I think I need to go first. What should I do? If you introduced me to this weird guy again, 야, 왜 이런 애한테 소개시켜줬어?
What did I do wrong? I tried to act according to his ideal type. 저기요, 돌아와요.
저 바빠요.
Come back to me.
안 돼요.
Wow.
타이밍 지기죠.
죽였어요.
네.
Wow.
우리 가보자고님 문자 들어왔는데요. 어떡해요. 가보자고님 saying I hate them. I hate Mina and a blind date version of Steve.
가보자고님, sorry.
네, 죄송합니다. 네, 근데 저도 이런 캐릭터를 그렇게 선호하는 타입은 아닙니다. 자, 오늘의 5분 상식, Neverland Syndrome. Now, I just know it comes from the fictional world of Peter Pan, Neverland, right? This is where Peter Pan lives.
Yes.
Right?
So the term Neverland Syndrome refers to the behavior of adults who refuse to grow old and want to continue living youthfully. It signifies a cultural trend that values living in a youthful and distinctive manner, regardless of one's actual age. A notable example is the enthusiasm of many adults for the basketball movie Slam Dunk, released this year.
맞아요.
Yeah. So which led to a shortage of Slam Dunk comic books and character goods.
맞아요. When this movie came out, I had people that I call like 선생님,
네,
right?
네.
Or 누구님.
네.
가서 슬램덩크 봐야지, right? I was like, 그것도 보셨어요, right? So that's why you were acting like a baby, because I said I liked people
Yeah.
that have Neverland Syndrome. 근데 너무 어리게 간 게 아니고 완전 애기로 갔죠.
완전
right?
애기로 갔죠.
네,
갓난아기.
그렇군요. 맞아요.
예.
근데 why is Neverland Syndrome? Why is it considered trendy these days?
With an extended average lifespan, people against the older generations are getting jobs and marrying at later ages. This might seem like a delay in embracing adulthood compared to the past, as they resist the traditional path. Cultural shifts play a role too. Modern society values looking young and qualities like empathy, making people prioritize a youthful mindset.
Now, I thought Neverland Syndrome, when I first heard it, I thought it was the same thing as Peter Pan Syndrome. Are they different? Peter Pan 증후군과 어떻게 다릅니까?
그거 완전 달라요. So like Peter Pan syndrome refers to maintaining characteristics of an immature child and avoiding the responsibilities of adulthood. The fundamental difference lies in the level of agency, 능동성. Peter Pan syndrome implies a psychological state where individuals, even as adults, refuse to acknowledge their adulthood and rely on others as a means of escaping reality. On the other hand, Neverland syndrome involves actively progressing towards a better version of oneself. 그 차이가 있죠.
큰 차이네요.
네.
Thank you so much. 우리 토끼님한테 문자가 들어왔습니다. 두 분 절대 사랑에 빠질 수 없겠어요. Why not? 우리 아까 스티브 목소리 너무 깊게 좀 가서 저도 깜짝 그러지 마세요.
알겠습니다.
네. 스티브님도 연기 짱 잘하네요. Impressed.
감사합니다.
토끼님 이렇게 칭찬하면 안 돼요.
너무 고맙습니다.
네, 감사합니다. 네, 오늘의 5분 상식 네버랜드 신드롬은요. 나이 들기를 거부하고 계속 젊게 지내고 싶어하는 어른들의 심리라고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 땡큐 스티브.
바이.
김대리 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 저 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래 라디오.
네가 적었어요. 13인 것 같네.
22번 홀리면
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
All right, folks, it is time for TGIF live studio in the studio. Live studio here in the studio. We have 진아 씨 with us. 진아 씨 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Should I stay here?
네, 카메라 여기
We got a different one.
조금 어색하죠. 네, 로레가 없는 김에 이제 로라 자리에 앉게 됐습니다, 진아. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
네네네.
I've got like another live show after this.
Oh, right after?
In KSU. Yeah, like a mini concert.
그럼 거기에 지금 정신 팔리는 게 아니죠?
아니.
지금 여기
최소한 여기.
저랑 있는 거죠.
네.
진아 씨, 저 물어볼 게 있는데요.
네.
When do you find yourself making mistakes at work? 진아 씨는 일하면서 언제 실수를 자주 하는 편이에요?
실수 거의 안 하는데.
오. 네, 넘어가겠습니다.
좀 바쁠 때, 정신 없을 때.
그렇죠.
네.
So I share with our listeners usually on Fridays. A lot of people make mistakes. 네.
쉬고 싶어서.
쉬고 싶어서 이제 퇴근하고 싶어서 주말에 뭐 할까 거기 정신이 다 가 있어서 특히 계산하는 실수 많이 한대요. A lot of calculating mistakes are made on Fridays. 그럼 진아 아니죠?
네. Are you talking about yourself now?
진아 씨 이제 로라 없으니까 갑자기 좀 공격스러운데.
이 자리에 앉으면 좀 그래요.
조금 그런 것 같아요. 네. All right, TJF Live Studio, folks, we're going to serenade you with a couple songs. 근데 로라 원래 오늘 로라 차례였는데 이제 없는 김에
네네.
제가 또 하게 됐습니다. 네. 자, 우리 back to back weeks 힙합을 할 거예요. 또. 네, 이제 제가 먼저 가잖아요.
와우.
오늘은 한국 힙합인데요. This might be one of the first like hip hop idol group of Korea. 여러분이 힙합 아이돌 생각하면 막 BTS 막 이렇게 생각하고 하는데 BTS도 힙합 원래 시작이 좀 힙합이라고 생각했는데
Dynamic Duo.
다이내믹 듀오는 아이돌보다 그냥 힙합 그룹인데요. I'm talking about One Time.
누구지?
어떡해.
H.O.T?
H.O.T. A little bit after H.O.T. 진아 씨는 H.O.T는 아는데 One Time's a little after
Which
H.O.T.
회사?
The two-letter 회사. The two-letter 회사 다 좀 많은데 the one with Blackpink and Big Bang and everybody.
I think I got it. But
네. 그래서 제가 원래 힙합을 좋아했는데
네.
한국 힙합은
네.
이 그룹을 먼저 듣고 한국 힙합에 조금 빠지게 됐어요. 네. One Time. 근데 그 time이 TYM입니다.
네네네네.
네, 스펠링이 좀 힙합스럽죠.
네, 노래 좋아요.
네, 그래서 제가 오늘 갖고 온 노래에 One Time의 One Time입니다. 네, 제목도 One Time이고 아티스트 One Time인데 I brought this because once again I love hip hop and this is like the song that got me into K-pop hip hop, K-hip hop, right?
K-hip-hop.
If that makes any sense,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
그래서 여러분, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the
왜요?
camera right.
걱정하지 마세요. 그거는 제가 진아 씨 솔로 할 때 잘 맞춰드리겠습니다. 자, dedicated to all of our listeners on 불금 Friday. This is One Time with One Time. Let's go. Yeah. I guess wow wow 우리도 지금까지 how 너무도 긴 시간을 foul 참아왔던 거 You know what the time how we kick right now 우리가 모든 것을 엎어 지금 이곳에서 벗어나고 싶어 너의 모두 기다려 one time처럼 다시 시작하는 것 다 같이 bow wow wow yippee yo did 똑같이 반복됐던 소주 속에 소리에서 초월되었던 바보 같던 너의 거짓대 눈 바로 떠 못이 보이나 무엇을 원하는가 구겨졌던 어제와 오늘의 내 미래 자신 있게 with the one time track One time is one time for your mind 원하는 것을 다 너에게 주겠어 우리는 one time 조금씩 다가와 우리 함께 하는 거야 이대로 아직도 뭔 말인지 또 뭔 소린지 왜 알아듣지 못한 말로 짓거리지 Yo T to the D Excuse me 잘하지 Excuse me 사라져버려 모두 다가가 지시들을 향해 전부 다가가 느끼니? 우리 힙합 속에 감춰진 자유 그 누구도 따라 알 수 없는 것 이제 다가와서 빨리 모든 너희들이 가려줄 시간들이 눈앞에서 함께 원T와 M을 기계 외쳐봐 우리는 영원할 거야 멀리 더 날아가리 높은 곳에 우리 모두 하나가 되리 One time is one time for your mind 원하는 것을 다 너에게 주겠어 우리는 one time 조금씩 다가와 우리 함께 가는 거야 이대로 And you don't stop One time is one time for your mind 원하는 것을 다 너에게 주겠어 우리는 one time 조금씩 다가와 우리 함께 가는 거야 이대로 One time 조금씩 다가와 우리 함께 가는 거야 이대로 One time 너에게 주겠어 One time for your mind
브라보.
네.
와.
근데 저 실수했어요
아 그래요?
진짜 실수 오늘 막 실수 얘기하다가 가사 실수 좀 몇 번 했어요
모를걸요
네 금요일 때문입니다. I blame it on Friday. 진아 씨, 그래서 이게 Korean Idol Hip Hop이라고 합니다. 그 K Idol Hip Hop도 좀 말이 좀 이상한데. 네,
Hip-hop.
그렇습니다. We have a couple listeners chiming in. 우리 JB님, one time, 핫 뜨거 핫 그쵸, 그것도 one time 노래죠. Gina giving 100 3 times.
Yeah.
네, 감사합니다. 진아 씨 300점을 주셨네요. 자, 비트와 밀당하는 힙합 밀당남 가보자고님 쌤. 가보자고님 부끄럽네요. 감사합니다. Also JB님 saying super nice, very nice. 자, 이제 the main show of the day. 진아 씨,
네.
what did you bring?
Moon Lover by Block.
Moon
Like
Lover.
a Korean jazz
오,
band.
너무 좋아요. 딱 타이틀부터 Moon Lover이라 하니까
Moon Lover.
네, 바로
네.
재즈 느낌 나네요.
네.
Why did you bring this song?
일단 노래 멜로디가 너무 좋아서 딱 불러보니까 딱 It's my song.
말할 필요가 없네. 더 이상 말 필요 없네.
가사는
내
그냥
노래니까.
노래.
좋아요.
Could you please turn the river?
Oh yeah.
up?
Way up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sounds good.
네, 자 가겠습니다. Moon Lover by Gina.
오늘도 어제처럼 같은 하루가 가네요. 꿈결처럼 그댄 나를 바라보죠. 늘 그렇게 시간은 표정 없이 그렇게 흘러만 가고 나의 손을 뻗어 그댈 안아보려 내 마음뿐이죠. To you 닿을 수는 없는지 왜 그대로인지 맴돌기만 하는데 To me 나의 손을 잡아줘 그렇게 다가와줘 조금만 내게로 in my eyes 언제나 그 자리에 그대는 멈춰있죠. 그저 미소 지며 나를 바라보죠. 내 마음뿐이죠. 나의 바람들을 그대 날 좀 날 내게 좀 이제 내게 와요. To you 닿을 수는 없는지 왜 그대로인지 맴돌기만 하는데 To me 나의 손을 잡아줘 그렇게 다가와줘 조금만 내게로 in my eyes 언제나 그 자리엔 그대는 멈춰 서 있죠. 그저 미소 지며 나를 바라보죠. 내 마음뿐이죠. 그저 바람뿐이죠. 나만의 사랑이죠. Like a Friday vibe though.
너무 오늘랑 너무 맞습니다. 네. 역시 진하다. 역시 진하. 우리 JB님 무대가 넓어져서 더 잘하시네요라고 하네요. 네, 카메라 때문이에요. 거기 그 자리가 뭐가 조금 있나 봐요, 진짜. 가보자고님 saying I want to go to Gina's concert. 가부장님 맨날 금요일 오세요. 맨날 콘서트 하시잖아요. 네. 토끼님 와우 브라보 목소리 여신 진아를 빌보드로. 아니 빌보드 가지 마세요. 빌보드 가면 저희가 같이 못하게 되잖아요. 네.
같이
부탁드리겠습니다. 지나셔야겠죠. Mr. E saying crazy so good.
Thank you.
JB님 찢었다고 읽고 진아라고 잘못 적었네요. 네, 갓진합니다. 가부장님 says. 역시 진짜 갓진합니다. 네, 어제씨 너무 감사합니다. Gracing us with your lovely voice again. We'll see you back here next week.
Yeah, sure.
네, 진아 씨, have a good show.
You too.
Okay, thank you. Bye. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the first hour of Inside Out Busan. I'll see you back here at 7 o'clock. This is a dynamic duo with Gur Jam.
And I'm looking at you. Alright, go jam, honey jam. 오늘은 선을 넘고 싶은 밤. 에이, 다리에 깁스를 한 듯 따보내 수요일 자정에 담을 넘은 밤. 찾아다니지 아무도 관심 없는 우리 둘만의 인연 공간. 적당히 취한 너는 보도 위에서 트리플 악셀. 밝게 빛이 나는 너의 얼굴과 네온 거리는 착색 때 나였나. 손목에 도장 찍고 전화 건나. 아무도 없는 클럽의 2시 반 술과 음악 있는 수요일 밤 너와 나 친구가 될 수 있을까 내일부터 Anymore No jam 오늘 밤은 jam No jam Honey jam here I am No jam 오늘 밤은 조금 묵신해 Now I'm looking at him Come on 넌 나의 90년대 너랑 있을 때 난 최고 무지편해 그만 둘이 번데 이 정도 뮤직 부리면 술이면 우리 둘이면 내 분위기 죽여 넌 묻어 얼굴을 내 가슴에 내 손가락 네 귀 뒤로 날아가 널
부산 영어방송에서는 국제도시 부산의 차세대 글로벌 리더들을 위한 청소년 영어 말하기 대회를 개최합니다.
BEFM will hold the English speech contest for the next leaders of Busan City.
문화 교육 특구, 자랑스러운 동래구의 청소년 홍보대사들이 이야기하는 부산의 동래는 어떤 모습일까요?
I'm going to introduce my hometown 동래.
The name 동래구 came about in 1957.
Mountain Gumjeong's appeal its charm whenever the season changes.
There are 동래 파전, 동래 octopus, and 동래 rice soup.
From the stories of students in Dongnegu, a representative traditional district in Busan, we can imagine the future of Dongnae and look forward to the bright future of the global city Busan.
2차 예선에 걸친 최종 10인의 본선 대결, 그리고 참가자 50인이 펼치는 영어 도전 골든벨에서 지역 청소년들이 꿈꾸는 부산의 미래를 확인해보세요.
We invite you to the Dongnae Youth English Speech Contest on August the 26th at 2 p.m. at the Dongnae Cultural Center.
이 행사는 동래구청과 BFM 부산 영어방송이 함께합니다.
오나라와 시작하는 전국민 안전 캠페인 나부터 5초만. 우회전할 땐 5초만. 주의를 살펴주세요. 배송 전에 5초만. 헬멧부터 확인하세요. 빨리빨리 하기 전에 5초만 멈추면 모두의 안전이 계속됩니다. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 로라 민수의 인사이드 아웃 부산.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Second hour of Inside Out Busan, and I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. I do hope you are having a swell Friday night. Yeah, and it's just by my lonesome once again. Laura, starting yesterday, was a little under the weather. She still is. Laura, we are hoping for your quick recovery. We'll try to keep that seat nice and warm for you, right? As best we can. Well, folks, we're going to start the show off, as always, the second hour with On the Mic. This is a segment where we get to share with you stories of Busan citizens, do a little deep dive into the lives of people here in Busan. Let's see who we have for today.
퇴근길에 방송 듣고 계신 분들 많을 텐데요. 하루 일과를 마치고 집을 돌아가고 있는 시민 한 분을 만나봤습니다. 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 부산 해운대구에 살고 있는 신지수라고 합니다.
지수, 저랑 이름이 똑같으시네요. 와, 반갑습니다. 혹시 지수의 이름 뜻이 한자어나 있으신지?
네, 저는 지혜지자에 닦을수 쓰고 있거든요. 아버님이랑 할아버지께서 같이 지어주셨는데 지혜를 잘 닦으라는 의미로 지어주셨다고 들었어요.
멋진 이름이네요. 이 눈빛에서도 지혜가 느껴지는 총명한 느낌이신데 지금 혹시 어디로 가고 계셨나요?
운동 방금 마치고 집에 가고 있었어요.
어떤 운동일까요?
헬스장 친구랑 같이 다니고 있거든요. 네, 그래서 운동 한 1시간 반 정도 하고 지금 집으로 가고 있습니다.
그럼 이 친구랑 헬스 운동 하신 지는 얼마나 되셨을까요?
이제 시작한 지는 한 달밖에 안 됐는데 이제 방학 때마다 크로스핏 이런 것도 한 번씩 하고 운동을 가끔 즐겨 하는 편이라서 친구랑 또 하고 집으로 가고 있었어요.
그렇구나.
네네.
크로스핏 운동 저도 얘기만 들어봤었는데 어떤지 하면
너무 힘들어요.
지옥 탐험이라고 들었거든요.
네, 그게 엄청 고강도 운동을 계속 반복하니까 너무 힘들더라고요. 근데 하고 나면 엄청 개운하고 기분도 되게 좋아지고 좀 운동 되게 좀 액티브한 거 좋아하시는 분한테 추천드리고 싶어요. 네네.
평소에 좀 액티브한 그런 활발한 활동을 좋아하시나 봐요.
네, 그런 거 좀 좋아하고 약간 스릴 넘치는 걸 좀 즐기는 편이에요.
그러면 운동 말고도 내가 평소에 즐기는 일이 있을까요?
밖으로 돌아다니는 것도 좋아하고 근데 요즘엔 좀 집에서 생활 많이 하는 것 같아요. 좀 자기만의 시간을 이제 좀 가지고 싶어가지고 원래는 막 친구들이랑 놀고 이런 것도 좋아하는데 요즘에는 좀 집에서 넷플릭스 보고 그러고 있어요.
그동안 밖으로 너무 많은 에너지를 방출해서 충전하는 시간. 그렇구나. 지금 방학이라고 표현하셨는데 대학생이신 거죠? 와, 전공 여쭤봐도 되나요?
네, 저 유아교육 전공하고 있어요.
이렇게 정말 예쁜 선생님이 우리 아이를 가르쳐준다면 너무 좋을 것 같은 그런 느낌이 드는데 유아교육 전공은 어떻게 선택하게 되셨을까요?
제가 사실 나이가 좀 있거든요. 원래 4년제 졸업을 공대를 이미 졸업을 했는데 제가 이제 학원 알바를 하다가 그 초등학생 영어를 가르치는 알바를 했는데 너무 에너지가 맞는 거예요. 그래서 진로를 완전히 바꾸게 된 거예요. 그래서 수능을 다시 보고 작년에 이제 1학년으로 다시 들어갔어요. 네, 그래서 지금 유아교육 전공하고 있어요.
그러면 작년에 들어갔으면 올해 2학년.
네, 맞아요.
2학년이신 거죠? 실례지만 나이 여쭤봐도 될까요?
저 올해 28입니다.
28
하면 27.
나이 중요해, 맞아요, 요새. 와, 그러면 되게 멋진 게 이공계 계열에 있다가 지금 유아교육 쪽으로 문과 계열로 가신 거잖아요. 쉽지 않은 결정이셨을 것 같아요.
맞아요. 좀 수능이라는 그 큰 시험을 다시 이제 한 6, 7년 만에 준비하다 보니까.
어떠셨나요?
근데 제가 하고 싶은 일을 이제 하려고 준비하다 보니까 현역 때는 되게 수능 이제 재수는 절대 안 해야지 이러고 되게 힘들었는데 이제 할 때는 즐겁게 했던 것 같아요. 네, 그래서 도전했는데 운 좋게 이제 딱 붙어가지고 지금은 잘 다니고 있어요.
그래서 지금 1년 더 지났는데 한번 진짜 내가 정말 바라던 일이 전공이 되고 나니까 어떠세요?
좀 에너지도 얻는 게 남다른 것 같고 공부 자체도 재밌고 이제 그 공대 다닐 때는 제가 물리를 원래 이렇게 막 흥미 있어 하진 않았는데 공부를 하다가 재밌는가 싶다가도 이제 다시 원점이 되는 거예요. 이게 진짜 내가 원하는 일이 아니었던 거구나 싶은 느낌이 드는 거예요.
네.
그래서 지금은 공부하는 게 너무 재밌고 엄청 즐기면서 하고 있어요. 네.
내가 정말 좋아하는 일 찾기 쉽지 않잖아요. 그래서 어쩌면 지금 나이 절대 늦거나 이런 거 아닌 것 같아요. 맞죠?
네네네. 그래서 좀 처음엔 도전하기 되게 두렵기도 하고 다른 친구들은 이제 다 직장 가지고 돈 벌고 있는데 나 혼자 다시 돌아가는 게 맞는 건가 싶었는데 그래도 저는 친구들도 되게 응원 많이 해주고 부모님도 되게 서포트도 많이 해주시고 해서 열심히 다니고 있어요.
이렇게 확고한 마음이 생긴다면 주변도 정말 응원해 주실 것 같거든요. 가끔은 돌아가는 게 빨리 가는 길이라고 하더라고요.
네. 전 평생 이제 할 직장을 생각하다 보니까 이 길이 맞는 것 같아서 저는 이제 계속 밀고 나가고 있어요.
실습도 나가보셨을까요?
지금 제가 학교에서 이제 1학년 2학기 때부터 이제 코로나가 좀 풀려서 저희 학교 옆에 바로 어린이집이 2군데가 붙어 있거든요. 그래서 현장 참관을 일주일에 한 번씩 나갔었어요. 그래서 이제 애들이랑 놀고 뭐 이런 선생님들도 도와드리고 같이 산책도 나가고 이런 걸 하면서 실제랑 맞닿아 있는 곳에 있다 보니까 조금 더 이제 이론도 접목할 수도 있고 네, 좀 현장을 바로 옆에서 볼 수 있어서 그게 좀 좋더라고요. 네.
아이들을 만나서 얻는 가장 큰 기쁨이 뭘까요?
일단 그 아이들의 에너지 자체가 너무 행복하고 그 때묻지 않은 순수함 그게 정말 그 다가와요. 그냥 너무 그 투명하게 다 보인다고 해야 될까? 그게 너무 좋아서 저는 그냥 바라보기만 해도 시간 가는 줄 모르고 애들이 저를 좋아해주면 저도 덩달아 좋고 이래서 그런 게 전 좋은 것 같아요.
실례가 될지 모르지만 말을 잘 듣는 친구도 있고 말을
네.
듣지 않는 친구도 있잖아요.
그래도 제가 이제 한 번 가면 3시간 정도 같이 있는데 말을 안 듣는 친구는 딱히 못 봤거든요. 근데 담임 선생님이 계시니까 담임 선생님께서 중재도 잘 해주시고 저는 이제 가서 놀아주는 선생님 그런 역할로 있다 보니까 오히려 말을 더 잘 듣고 와서 다가와서 먼저 얘기도 걸어주고 막 그러더라고요. 그래서 아직까지는 막 문제야라고 해야 되나 그런 아이들은 못 봤던 것 같아요.
아, 사실은 방금 듣다가 생각한 게 말을 안 듣고 잘못된 아이는 없다라고 하잖아요.
네네네.
정말 다양한 친구들이 있는 거니까
네네네.
제가 사과해야겠네요. 혹시 라디오를 통해서 뭔가 한마디 전하고픈 분이 있을까요?
아무래도 부모님이 생각이 나니까 항상 저를 응원해 주시고 아무리 또 이렇게 늦게 돌아가더라도 그걸 이제 밀고 가는 저의 모습을 보고 좀 힘드는 말도 많이 해주시고 믿어주셔서 항상 감사하다고 말씀 전하고 싶어요.
저도 갑자기 부모님이 떠오르네요. 마지막으로 저희 부산 영어방송 청취자분들에게 한 말씀 부탁드리겠습니다.
지금 이제 무더운 여름도 끝나가는데 이번 여름도 잘 나셨기를 바라고 앞으로 다가오는 가을 겨울도 잘 맞이하시고 하는 일 모두 다 잘 되셨으면 좋겠습니다.
부산 영어방송 화이팅!
아이고 감사합니다. Thank you so much to our porter 지수 and to our guest 지수. 네, 신지수님이었습니다. And she mentioned her name was given by her grandfather and dad means living with wisdom. And she obviously is. She's a university student studying early childhood education right now, right? She's really living up to her name. After graduating a 4-year engineering program, she worked part-time as an elementary school English academy teacher. And that's when she realized her love for children, teaching children. So she actually retook her CSATs and then returned to university to study childhood education. And she says that wasn't the easiest thing. But it was this time that she discovered her true passion for kids, and this gave her clear motivation to kind of change her life course, right? So you could tell she has a very active personality, not only when it comes to teaching the kids, playing with the kids. Also, she hits the gym very frequently, she says, and she finds a lot of satisfaction in the rigorous workouts that she does. Maybe we could be inspired a little bit by 지수님. And Heart of Gold, once a week, she says she volunteers at a daycare near her school to play with the kids. 얼마나 큰 마음을 갖고 있어요. 얼마나 따뜻한 마음을 갖고 있습니까, 우리 지수님이. She says she feels joyful and so happy seeing these innocent children, right? 지수님, you are, I think it was just meant to be you and just really helping foster and help, the next generation, the future leaders of Korea, to have them learn and grow under a teacher like you, 지수님. I think, there is hope. Of course, there's a lot of hope, but I'm really glad that there are teachers, people, that are teaching our kids like you out there. Thank you so much to our reporter, Jisu, and thank you so much to our guest, Jisu님. That was today's On the Mic. All right, folks, time is now 7:10. Am I going to make a list of mistakes that I'm making? 금열 때문입니다. Here we go with the song break. This is IU and G-Dragon with Palette.
이상하게도 현실 여전히 거리는 음악은 좋더라. 핫핑크보다 진한 보라색을 더 좋아해. 또 뭐더라 단추 있는 파자마 립스틱 좀 지고 좀 장난들 I like it. I'm 25 날 좋아하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly fine. 이제 조금 알 것 같아 날. 긴 머리보다 반드시 자른 단발이 좋아. 하긴 그래도 좋은 날 부를 땐 참 예쁘더라. 왜 그럴까 조금 촌스러운 걸 좋아해. 그림보다 빼곡히 재본 팔레트 일기 잠들었던 시간들 I like it. I'm 25 날 미워하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly fine. 이제 조금 알 것 같아 날.
어려서 모든 게 어려워진 소리임을 서러워 꾸중만 듣던 저부지에 겨우 숨은 고개 넘어 기쁨도 잠시 엄어 아프니까 원 청춘이를 지은 아홉반은 말야 지금 막 서른인데 나는 절대로 안 해 근데 막 어른이 돼 아직도 한참 멀었는데 너보다 5살밖에 안 먹었는데 20위 서른 아래 고맘대 right 때 해도 어른도 안해 night 때 그저 night 때 가장 찬란하게 빛이 나 어둠이 드리워질 때도 겁내지 마 너무 아름다웠어 꿈이 활짝 웃어 언제나 사랑받는 날 yo.
일기 잠들었던 시간들 I like it. I'm 25 날 좋아하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly fine. 이제 조금 알 것 같아 난. 칼날이만 I like it. I'm 25 날 미워하는 거 알아. Oh I got this. I'm truly found. 이제 조금 알 것 같아 날.
IUNG Dragon. That was a palette. The time is now 7:14 here in the studio. Second hour of Inside of Busan. You're hanging out with me, Minsu Shin. Laura is unfortunately out a little under the weather. She's a little sick, and we do hope for her speedy recovery. All right, listeners, to give you an update on how hot it is outside. 얼마나 더운지 봅시다. Currently 29 degrees here in Busan. Tomorrow's weather expecting morning low of 24 and afternoon high of 32. There's going to be a lot of clouds nationwide over the weekend. Daytime temperatures will rise to a maximum of 32. But it's going to be really humid because of the lot of rain that we had the other day. So it's going to make the heat index feel above 33 in many places. 주말에는 전국에 구름이 많겠고요. 낮 기온이 최고 32도까지 올라가겠습니다. 그간 내린 비로 습도가 높아서 체감 온도가 33도를 웃도는 곳이 많겠다고 합니다. So everybody do take care over the weekend. Stay hydrated, stay in the shade, a cool place if you can. When it comes to our traffic, we have congestion on 관문대로 from 삼락 나들목 going towards 백양 Tunnel Tollgate. There's also congestion on 황영대로 from 문전 Junction going towards 황영 Tunnel. Slow-moving traffic on 낙동남로 from 성신 Three-Way intersection going towards the 강서 Police Station. Also slow-moving traffic on 반송로 from 연산 Junction going towards 과정 Junction. Everybody, 안전 운전 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사합니다. All right, folks. Getting to some of your messages. I want to get to Hannah님 on our YouTube. 하나님 안녕하세요. Hannah, you said you've been doing great without any mistakes. Don't worry, Minsu. Oh, Hannah님, thank you so much. Oh, but I'm glad you didn't notice those mistakes, right? And he says I've just listened to the first part of the show. Oh, don't listen to the second part then. I'm just kidding. Stick around. And he says, thanks for your good summary of the interview. Her students must be very happy with her. Oh, you're talking about 지수님 for today's On the Mic. 맞아요. 그런 분이 진짜 if that was everybody's teacher, right? I'm sure there's a lot of great teachers out there, but I'm really happy to know that, like a person like her is teaching the future generation, our future leaders, right? Kids are going to grow up well, learn well under her. So 하나님, thank you so much for your comment. Today, folks, we are talking about mistakes that we make. It seems that most people, especially office workers, on Fridays, they seem to make the most mistakes, especially in the afternoon between the hours of 2 to 4 p.m. A lot of mistakes are made. So about this, we had a message that came in from 4625님. 직장 상사 따님의 결혼식에 갔었어요. 늦어서 서둘러서 축의금을 내고 담례 봉투를 받고 인사하고 다른 친구 결혼식에 갔어요. 거기서 축의금 봉투를 준비하려고 지갑을 열었더니 왜 5만 원권이 남죠? 왜 5천 원권이 없었죠? OMG 어떡해. 네, 축의금 5천 원 한 사람 여기요. 저 말고 있으시죠? 그렇죠. 제발요. 4625님. 일단 저는 그런 실수를 안 해봤어요. 왜냐면 저는 사실 이렇게 캐시를 그렇게 들고 다니는 사람은 아니거든요. And I know a lot of people out there do. 이게 특히 이게 결혼식이나 이렇게 축의금을 내야 될 때 그때 돈 뽑는 사람들이 많습니다. 그래서 특히 Saturday and Sunday ATMs are super busy. Just especially around places where there's like a lot of wedding halls here in Korea. 근데 그럼 상사의 따님한테 5천 원으로 축의금을 내셨군요. 혹시 그 뒤로 따로 연락 왔어요? Usually, after a wedding and, because the bride and groom want to thank everybody that came, they usually, send text messages, right? 와주셔서 감사합니다. 특히 축의금 내신 기록북인가? Like the 출첵 book. Like the booklet that they have in front of, like usually the wedding hall where you sign in or the person, checks off how much the person gave as a present. 딱 우리 4625님 딱 이름 옆에 5천 원 적었겠네요. 어떡해요, 4625님. 혹시 직장 가서 상사분이랑 다 괜찮으셨는지 네, 꼭 알려주세요. 4625님. 너무 감사합니다. 근데 이런 실수를 저랑 나누셔서 너무 감사합니다. Thank you so much for all your input today on today's topic. Wow, I feel like, as a community, we come together to share our mistakes. It really feels like, we could laugh it off, actually. Like, don't be so caught up in the mistakes you made. 왜냐면 실수하고 집에 가서 막 그 실수 생각하고 막 입을 차고 막 왜 그랬지라고 이렇게 하는 분들 많잖아요. I think this is a good outlet. Just let me know so we could share with everybody and let's just laugh it off, right? We all make mistakes. We're human, but we especially make a lot of it on Fridays, right? Thank you to everybody that has shared with us today. All right, the time is now 7:20 in the studio. It's Friday, second hour of our show. That means it's time for Open Studio, right? The longest running segment here at Inside of Busan. We have a very special guest here in the studio, part of this year's Busan International Comedy Festival, taking place actually right now over at Busan Cinema Center. Shall we go meet our guest? All right, right, listeners, it is time for the Inside of Busan staple segment, Open Studio, where we invite a very special guest every Friday. Now, a bit of a change-up. It's just me here in the studio today, but we have a very special performer with us here in the studio. He's a performer, writer, improviser, clown, streamer, as well as podcaster. A huge resume this person has. Here in town for the Busan International Comedy Festival that's taking place right now, actually. We have with us Tom Walker from Australia. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Minsu. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure to have you. Welcome to our city.
Thank you. It was beautiful to hear the nouns that I have, by the way, read out in kind of ascending order of how ashamed my parents are of them. They would be fine with the
writer.
No, a writer would have been fine. Improviser, we start to hit the you're out of the will zone. And by podcaster, they won't. Like, they've forgotten my first name.
Oh, my gosh.
Miserable stuff.
Aww.
But thank you.
No, it's our pleasure. We are so thankful that you kind of stepped out for a little bit because I know you're super busy with the festival taking place right now. But it's a pleasure to have you here. I guess, could you introduce yourself directly to our listeners, please?
Sure. My name is Tom. I am Australian. And, okay, I've just realized I'm covering the exact same things that you have.
It's all good.
I'm a comedian. I do kind of a lot of physical stuff mixed in with stand-up, and I'm here to do just my kind of physical best of at the Busan International Comedy Festival.
Nice, right? So a lot of people looking forward to your performance. But before we, get to that, we want to first know you as a person, right? This open studio it's a great opportunity for us to kind of not only find out, like the event our special guest is a part of, but also a little bit about their lives and how they got to this point.
I'm a Gemini. A proud Gemini. Actually, not a proud Gemini. I don't know anything about star signs. I just know that Gemini is the worst one.
I think I'm a Sagittarius. Is that how you pronounce it?
That is such a Sagittarius thing to say. That is and that's just me trying desperately to pretend like I know.
Right, we are living out our stereotypes. But let's learn a little bit about you. Now, from what I've heard from our writer, your passion for comedy actually started during your high school days.
Yes,
Yeah.
in an interesting way in that my school offered improvisation or, kind of short form improv, like theater games was offered at my school under the kind of brand name of theater sports.
Oh,
and
I've never heard of.
So it's like this.
Like that.
It's this weird thing where that had like a short life in America and then this huge ongoing life in Australia. Where
Interesting.
It's this strange little mutant of comedy where the most annoying children alive can leave and come back so much worse because they've gotten so much attention.
You know what? That's kind of like art and drama classes in the States as well, because I went to school back in California, and that's pretty much the gist of like the drama classes that I was a part of.
Yes, exactly. It's like a even more opt-in drama class. It's like, the kids who are going away for drama camp after school, you find them concentrated there, being like told to, I don't know, impersonate like an Italian man at the beach. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Anyway, my school had a thing where they erroneously listed that as an actual sport, and I was the world's worst rugby player. And I'm like a big guy. I'm like 6'3". I have a very high center of gravity, and I was so tired of falling over. So I was getting tackled every single day to the dirt. And then I realized I could just go and hang out with friends and make stuff up instead of getting hurt.
But you know what? It shows your dedication and passion to whatever it is that you're doing, right? You didn't give up right away, obviously. Rugby,
No.
Right?
But then I realized that I could give up right away. No. But so that really sparked the love of performing, realizing that you didn't have to kind of sit down or, say words that other people had written. Because the school play is, you have to be good, you have to learn lines and audition. But this, you could just stand up and kind of riff something off the top of your head. And if people liked it, they liked it. So much less work.
But that's like, your foray into comedy. So you started with like kind of like acting. Right? Oh, were you part of a lot of like school productions?
A little bit. We had a few at my school, but I was always so bad at acting because I think I had like my wires crossed as a kid, and I thought acting was the art of presenting the lines. And so I would be on stage as a kid, like dressed as a frog in The Wind and the Willows, delivering my lines like a newsreader. I'm not kidding. I was just standing there going like, the toad is out. Like, I don't know. I would look
you
down.
read like stage direction on the script or something.
Dude, yes. I was giving everything a flat reading, making sure it was enunciated to hell and back. Not an ounce of emotion crossing through my objective journalist mind.
So, like acting, like theater acting, probably not your chops. Then how did that lead you to comedy then?
I mean, I just always loved comedy. I loved comedy always growing up. And then when you start to realize, like, oh, I can just go out and try this. And then if you do that long enough that you have your first, like, soul-crushing failure and you keep doing it, then that means you're going to probably keep doing it until you can't anymore. You know? Like, it's one of those things where the barrier for entry is very low. It's as low as finding out where an open mic is in your city and getting up there and seeing some of the saddest people in your city working out whatever it is they're going through on stage. And then you get up and you have your little idea. Maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't.
And they probably think the same of you while you're
to be clear, I was not above. I was of the swamp at that point. Yeah, I love it.
Then when did you decide, I'm going to make this, my life now?
I think I always had it like, I did have like backup plans, but I'm stupid enough that they were very bad. So
maybe you did that on purpose.
Maybe.
Because you always had, you're like on the back burner, in the back of your mind. You're like,
yeah,
I'm going to do comedy. I think I'm going to do comedy, but I have to show at least some effort just trying out other stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to do comedy, but then if that doesn't work out, I could always get hit by a Mercedes-Benz or maybe something else will happen. But yeah, like I just kind of got into comedy, did it for a while, and then started doing festival circuits, which is where you do like an hour show, And so after working up like 5-minute sets time and time again, you put 12 of those suckers together, you've got yourself an hour. And if that goes well, you might find yourself doing another hour down the track. And so I did well at my first festival. I got like Best Newcomer, which is, it's nice. But that kind of thing just gives you the steam to keep going. And a bit of help to get that representation, so you don't have to send emails to venues begging them to have you.
Yeah, and that just shows you, like you guys really like me because you keep calling me back.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's what I'm here for. The approval. Oh my God! If you could bottle that feeling of getting patted on the head and told I'm good, I don't know that I'd be here. I'd be at home drinking whatever that is.
But you are, right? Destiny has brought you to this point. I'm really curious. So here in Korea, when Koreans think of comedy, it's a lot of like the slapstick, right? Like comedians would kind of, show comedy, make people laugh through like their actions. And, it's more like physical, I guess, the comedy. What's like the comedy that people, Australians would kind of prefer or like, enjoy more?
That's interesting. I think in Australia, we have quite a strange, like a strangely developed comedy scene for how uncouth and stupid our country is, like how low our culture is. But I think stand-up is like I think you have a lot of stand-up, some observational stuff. There is, I would say Australian comedy is largely defined by its amount of swearing, its the severity of its swear words in comparison to, say, English or American comedy. But we have like, I'd say more a culture of stand-up because Australians fundamentally want to see themselves in their country as like larrikins. We want to see ourselves as mischievous people, whereas really we're the kind of people who'd, write a note and leave it under your windshield for parking in front of our letterbox for 5 minutes.
Right?
Incredibly passive-aggressive people. But our fantasy of ourselves, is as a bunch of fun-loving larrikins. So we love a guy standing up with the mic telling it like it is.
Okay, because stand-up is actually kind of catching on these days here in Korea. For Koreans, it was in the beginning really awkward to go into like a bar performance hall and just kind of sit down and just listen to a comedian just talk about their life and stories.
Yes.
There always had to be it always had to be roles and like a story being played out for audiences to be able to laugh. So it's now like stand-up is an actual like trend, a part of comedy that Koreans kind of now go, oh, like that's comedy too.
Yeah, Western audiences have this insane thing where they think of stand-up as just like, well, it's natural, it's just a person and a microphone. But they overlook the insane amount of framing that it takes to get people to think of a person and a microphone standing up and talking as like something that's okay or even interesting compared to someone getting hit with a stick. You know? It's this strange cultural blind spot for a lot of like Western comedy people where they view stand-up as kind of like the state of comedy rather than like a genre in itself.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just like, you're right. Is what I wanted to agree with you about.
Yeah. So Tom, explain describe for our listeners a bit more in detail than, now talking about, because you mentioned what comedy in Australia is a bit like. What is your comedy? What is your performance? Can you just maybe describe a little bit to our audiences?
Sure. The shows at the festival are rated 19 plus. So
kids, cover your ears.
Kids, cover your ears. But no, it's like I guess it's whatever I find funny I put on stage. In this case, it's a lot of like physical comedy act outs and stupid bits. It's my inspiration going into it is often like a live action cartoon. Oh. Because I'm a huge fan of, past and present and future cartoons. And the animation industry is kind of like pioneering every bit of physical comedy that wasn't made up by the Marx Brothers, I think that it's a lot of that cartoonish aesthetic kind of punctuated by, wouldn't it be really messed up if this happened?
Oh.
Yeah. It's like if Daffy Duck had a bunch of intrusive thoughts.
Okay. I'm thinking like Peter Griffin, Family Guy.
Sure.
Is that like mixed in with
a little
your
indie cartoon. I believe I've heard of the Family Guy. Yeah.
맞아요. So that's a little bit of what people can expect with your performance, right? Then I'm curious, how did you, because, not only are you a performer in Australia, you've been around the world.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to tour to like Edinburgh Fringe and through Australia. Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah,
London, the UK.
Our co-host who isn't with us right now, she's from the UK, specifically Scotland, right? But I think she would have a hoot and a half.
Scotland and Ireland, and Wales, the three good parts, baby.
There you go. She's probably
huge respect. Huge respect to Scotland, Ireland, and Wales, and no other parts of the United Kingdom.
What was the process in you coming to Korea and being a part of the Busan International Comedy Festival then?
So this has been in the offing for a while. I met Dennis, who runs the festival, in I think like 2018, and in 2019 he was like, we need to talk about you coming over here and doing a show. Because I'd done a show that was like, I would say, 70-80% mime. And my style of mime, by the way, is like, I do talk during it in Australia. I don't speak Korean here, so there will be less of that. But I don't play a little character. It's me acting out things, and I have a little clicker that I play sound effects on, so that I can kind of create create like a beautiful, immersive, strange thing. So I met Dennis, and then COVID-19. I don't know if you guys had that over here.
A little bit.
Oh
yeah.
Very popular internationally. Kind of the Blackpink of diseases. But yeah, that sidelined those plans for a bit until finally I could come over here, and I'm so excited.
Yeah. A lot of people looking forward to your performance. So you've been in contact with the person setting this festival up. Is this your first time in Korea, or have you been here before?
This is my first time in Korea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know you've only been here for couple of hours, right? You flew in the other day, but how's it been so far? Just being here in Busan, here in Korea, because our city is your first impression of our country.
That's right, Minsu. And let me tell you, there are so many more people here with perfect hair than Australia. I don't know how to describe it other than that. I see, like, Australia has, like, some people who have like the perfect hair for their face and their hair length, but it is insane.
You gotta give it up for all the hair designers here in Korea. They put in hard work.
They are knocking it out of the park. But yeah, no, I love Korean food and Korean culture. Like I weirdly listen to a lot of the Green Flame Boys, which is a Korean punk band I found like years ago, just by happenstance.
The Green Flame Boys.
Yeah.
I gotta see if we have that in our system.
I hope they're okay to like.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, Ginkgo Tree Boys and Bampe-kun, like just absolutely killer tracks. And then kind of from discovering like Chef Roy Choi's like Mexican Korean fusion, I just became obsessed with Korean food. So Dennis has been kind enough to show me the cold noodle dish.
Naengmyeon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that is good.
Hits the spot.
Yeah.
On the hot summer days.
It was the only time I've eaten food and been like, I wish it was hotter outside.
Really?
I wish it was more humid so this could really like just take me to heaven. Because it was great, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
If naengmyeon is, does it for you right now, I'm sure the couple more days you're here in our city, we have like staple like Busan dishes. I'm sure, the staff at the festival, your buddies that are here right now, they'll probably take you to a couple more places. Your mind's going to be blown away.
I'm genuinely so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And we're excited for your performance titled Very, Very.
I'm also excited for that.
Right? Tell our listeners, because I know some people, it's, taking place at the Busan Cinema Center. It's right behind our building.
That's right.
So a lot of our listeners that are going to be nearby are going to be stopping by the Cinema Center, checking out the festival, even going to your performance. How should visitors, what state of mind should they be in when they're walking into your performance?
Oh man, they really need to be messed up and in a dark place. I need them to be going through a divorce. No, they just have fun. I try and foster a thing where I'm just making sure the audience is having fun. I want them to see a big idiot on stage and feel safe and happy doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So just going in there with an open mind. Do you have the details in terms of what day and what time your performance will be specifically? Because we do want to,
This is going to really impress you, yes. I don't have the vibe of someone who has that information, do I? It's Saturday at 7 p.m., 1900, and Sunday, 4 p.m. or 1600 hours.
Thank you so much. So nice. 2 showings of Very, Very.
Yeah, come check it out.
Yeah. Lastly, before we wrap up, I wish we could spend more time with you, but I know there might be some listeners. Yeah, comedy is, like I said, there's very different styles of it here in Korea, and there's so many different platforms that people can go to show their content. It's not just on TV and open mics anymore. Now we have the power of the internet, right? Social media platforms, people can upload their 30-second to 5-minute bit, and now anybody can be a broadcaster, right? You could be an actor, you could be a comedian. So there are actually people, because comedy is seeing this rejuvenation here in our country. For those that are looking towards maybe a path of career in comedy, care to share as, a person who is experienced, who has the years under his belt?
I love my belt. Yeah, I think, look, I came up through live performance. And so my tips are mainly for that. And for that, I would say just listen when the audience laughs. Because a lot of times people get up with their joke and they'll, be so set on telling their joke or having their terrible little idea that they'll miss when they say something, so they let something slip about their personality that is so bizarre. Like a friend of mine was once on stage and just absent-mindedly dropped the fact that he used to make peanut butter sandwiches slathered with chili oil and call it satay. Ooh. And just the whole audience gasped. And then afterwards I asked him did you hear the reaction to that? And he was like, what? No. And I was like, that is what the bit needs to be about. You're a freak. Listen to that. You have to know when you're funny. And you probably don't know it, but if you get up on stage, you'll eventually be funny regardless of if you're trying to be or not. And so just listen to that.
Yeah.
And then for online stuff, Godspeed. It is brutal out there. My advice is people are going to hurt your feelings.
More than encouragements?
Oh, even if you receive 1,000 messages of encouragement, you're going to remember the one person who commented not trying to be mean, but are his eyes not level? Like, that's just going to stick with you. But, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
It happens to literally everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, great advice. Really, really.
Oh, and can I shout out? I'm so sorry.
Of course. No, I was going to let you anyways, yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I'm going to take it then. Next week, the week after this, Justin Hamilton and Nikki Britton, two very funny Australian comedians, are doing a split bill. And I just wanted to say that they're people that I would always make time to watch. If I was on at a club, I'd like stay and watch them. And I love going home more than anything in the world. So check out Nikki Britton. She is so funny.
They're that good. That's what you're saying, right?
That's right.
Nice. Well, we do have to wrap up our interview with you today. Tom Walker, ladies and gentlemen, his performance titled Very, Very, taking place Saturday and Sunday. What were the times again? It was
7 and 4.
7 p.m. on Saturday, 4 p.m. on Sunday. Right? Thank you so much, Tom. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
You. Enjoy the rest of your time. Best of luck to you with your performance. Okay?
Thank you.
Bye.
감사합니다.
Here we go with the song break. This is In Excess with New Sensation.
안녕하세요. 고품격 영어 방송 인사이드 아웃 부산의 품격 있는 Writer Steve입니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 인투 로스터리. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee whole beans sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. IOB와 함께하는 품격 있는 선물. It's all yours, listeners.
It's about that time. As we slowly start to wrap up today's show, we're going to end things off with quote unquote. And it's Friday, folks. That means we have our Friday edition writer, Steve, with us here in the studio. Hi, Steve.
Hello.
Steve, aren't you tired?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
Yes.
I mean, you did a 2-hour show starting at 4 p.m.
Yes.
And how dare you, by the way? Right? Wasn't it in the contract that you can only do Inside Out Busan?
Yeah, but you know, 저의 도움이 너무 필요하다고 해서.
누가요?
Everyone.
I gotta speak with everyone. No, Steve. Yeah, Steve was filling in for David, I think, when he's on vacation.
Yeah, he was on
right?
vacation.
Yeah, and now doing this show. Steve, thank you so much for sticking around.
Yes.
네, 있어줘서 너무 감사해요.
It feels like home now. I think here's like living room, you know.
그래요?
여기 침대 놓으면 바로 잘 수 있을 것 같아요.
자지 마세요.
알겠습니다.
Maybe not while I'm here. All right, Steve, for today's quote unquote, what do you have for our listeners?
Yes, today I have brought a quote from the book, Never Split the Difference, Negotiating as If Your Life Depended on It, written by Chris Voss. So for those who don't know Chris Voss he is a former FBI hostage negotiator, author, and speaker. And this book focuses on negotiation techniques and strategies that Voss developed and used during his time negotiating in high-stakes situations, such as hostage rescues.
Oh, I might need to pay attention to this. 'Cause I always have to negotiate with my daughter. So.
Oh yeah, you gotta concentrate.
What's the quote you have for us?
So the quote for today is: most of us enter verbal combat unlikely to persuade anyone of anything because we only know and care about our own goals and perspective.
We only care about what we want when we enter a negotiation.
Yeah. So like you said, you know, like with your daughter, 주로 어떤 상황이 많이 만들어지나요?
Oh, when I have to make her like, you know, eat.
밥 먹으라고 해야 될 때.
Or wake up.
일어나야
or go to
될 때.
sleep. 다요. Every day, all day.
So what kind of techniques do you use?
The 화내는 kind. No. The kind where it does not work and I always lose. 네.
Always lose.
Yeah.
그게 최선 현재로서는.
네.
이길
수가 없어요.
So you know, 대부분 이제 이기려고 하다 보면은 꼭 딸끼리가 아니더라도 이제 말싸움이 생기잖아요.
맞아요.
So you know, like what kind of outcome can we expect after most of our verbal arguments? It might not be the case for everyone, but in my situation, like myself, I always feel regretful after engaging in arguments. During verbal disputes, emotions usually intensify, and rather than considering the other person's perspective, I often become selfishly engrossed in my own standpoint, leading me to become quite self-centered. While arguing, I tend to focus solely on my own goals and views. So if the other person's opinion even slightly differs from mine, I end up judging it as wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a result, verbal arguments often conclude with hurtful words exchanged, leaving unresolved issues and a sense of regret.
Yeah, I mean, well, not probably at work, but a lot of like personal relationships. Usually, I mean, not usually, but a lot of the times you go from negotiating to like arguing. That's never like good. So what should we do?
So, like in the midst of a verbal dispute, it would naturally be challenging to attempt seeing things from the other person's perspective due to heightened emotions. Nevertheless, even if it's just a little, how about making an effort to consider the other person's point of view rather than solely focusing on your own goals and perspective?
Yes.
If in a genuine argument you're trying to make, the other person understand your opinion, it might be beneficial to find out what the other person wants. If not, ultimately only a sense of regret awaits.
맞죠. Right. Meeting in the middle. That's what negotiation is, I think, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Even for like, you know, because you mentioned Chris Voss, who's the author of this book, he's an FBI hostage negotiator.
Yeah.
Even in that kind of situation, a negotiator is needed so that the wants and needs of the person who's holding a person hostage can be met, so that that person would be more inclined to let the hostages go, right?
네.
So hopefully it's not that kind of situation.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
our listeners are getting in. Hopefully you don't feel like an FBI negotiator. Hopefully you don't feel like the person you're talking to is a criminal.
Yeah, that's right.
그래도 a lot of the times, you know, you have that mindset, but meeting in the middle, that's most important.
But in this book, Chris Voss says you don't need to meet in the middle.
Oh.
여기서는 어떻게 하면 완전히 100% 다 가져갈 수 있는지 알려줘요. In this book.
근데 he's dealing with criminals.
But like,
you know what I mean?
So he used that techniques in the business too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I see that happening. I see that, you know, being beneficial in business, right? But when it comes to personal relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family, friends, 중간에 만나는 게 제일 올바른 것 같습니다.
평화로운.
그렇죠. You sacrifice a little, they sacrifice a little, or understanding each other. This is what's needed. Nice. Can you hit us with the quote one more time for today?
Most of us enter verbal combat unlikely to persuade anyone of anything because we only know and care about our own goals and perspective.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.
Today's quote-unquote brought to you by Friday edition Inside Out Busan writer Steve. Steve, 오늘 너무 수고했어요.
너무 감사합니다.
네.
And also you too.
Oh, no. You know, I just do what I do, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, looking at the time, it is time to wrap it up. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for the past 2 hours. I will see you back here next Monday. Inside Out Busan was produced by me, written by Im Soo-jin and
Steve's right here.
There you go. Hosted by Min Soo-shin as well. Our last track, this one's by John Mayer, Split Screen Sadness. Folks, have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.
And I don't know where you went when you left me, but it says here in the water you must be gone by now. I can tell somehow. One hand on the trigger of the telephone, wondering when the call comes. Will you say it's alright? You got your heart right. Maybe I'll sleep inside my coat and wait on your porch till you come back home, alright. I can't find a flight. We share the sadness, split screen sadness.